Hey, I'm Toby, the founder of TubNet, which is a Minecraft server that I've been working on for the last 4 years. It releases in less than an hour from now, so I thought we'd take this time to talk to you a little bit about what we do. TubNet is set in an exciting metropolis called New Block City, which is full of famous artists, builders, and scientists. This city is where players come to channel their creative energy and bring their dreams to life. What we are going to be doing for the first section of this keynote is going over absolutely everything we have built. We're getting right into the nitty and gritty to show you guys everything. The first place we are going to start exploring is one of my personal favorites, which is the lobby of the server itself. When you join TubNet for the first time, you'll be greeted by the New Block Plaza, which has many points of interest that we wanted to elaborate more on. The two main NPCs in the lobby, the Light Strike Detective and the Crystal Rush Scientist, are going to transport you to the sub-lobbies for those games. They will also display crucial information like how many players are playing each game, also the version of the game, and whether it has any cool new updates. Now, taking your focus away from the main two NPCs, we're going to be talking about the Postman and some of the others on the side. The TubNet Postman is part of our daily rewards incentive, where every day a player can log on, can watch a video in order to gain network XP and also free cosmetics. And it has the benefit of supporting the server for completely free. Moving on to the left of the Postman, you have our Snack Attack game, which is one of our many smaller social games that are scattered throughout the lobby, which I'll touch more on in a bit. But I recommend checking it out because it's addictive. Now, moving on to the right of the main NPCs in the lobby, you'll be greeted by the Taxi Man, which will be able to provide warps to all of our non-crucial areas for those of you that want to see sightseeing around the lobby. Let's now move on from NPCs and talk about some of the unique and distinguishable buildings that are positioned around the plaza. I promise you'll find them helpful. The New Block Fashion building is fantastic. It's full of cosmetics in order to customize your characters to make absolutely every single player on TubNet unique. It's also a great way to also support the server. It would be a missed opportunity to not use this time now to plug our TubNet store, store.tubnet.gg, where the player can buy ranks to stand out above the crowd and also qubits to actually interact with all these cool custom cosmetics that are available. Right now, our store has just opened, so players are now able to pre-order all the things I just mentioned. So please, if you want to support us and keep seeing us do cool things, go to store.tubnet.gg. Now, back to the plaza. So, along with the unique buildings like the fashion store I mentioned, you'll also see that there's a garage attached. This is where in the future we plan on adding mounts, so the players are able to drive around the lobby in their very own car. I'm afraid we couldn't get this ready for launch, but it will be coming very soon. Maybe even sooner than you think. Now, let's move our attention over to the left side of the plaza, where you'll see the Craft Cafe. The Craft Cafe is awesome. This is where players can socialize and play the social games I mentioned earlier. The social games we have available include chess, checkers, and many others, and I'm sure we'll add to this pool of games as time goes on. But that's all in the Craft Cafe. Moving over behind the Craft Cafe now, you'll see the gift shop. As of on launch, we won't have anything in the gift shop, but further down the line, we'd love a way for players to be able to gift cosmetics to their friends, because, you know, who doesn't love receiving a gift? What makes TubNet very unique is that all of our lobbies are built exactly on the same map. So if you want to take more of a scenic route, you can just walk to the lobby of the game you want. You don't need to teleport. It's all the same world. For those of you that do wander and explore the lobby, we have built parkour courses all around the lobby with competitive timed leaderboards boards you guys can climb. As you walk around New Block City, you're going to be able to see many of our iconic landmarks, such as the news tower, where the citizens of New Block City receive all of their latest information, the headquarters of the famous SOM Corp, the research facility that puts the sake of mankind first, and the historic New Block Museum that's full of ancient artifacts and past wonders. Not to forget also the priceless art they have. Recently, disaster has struck the city, with crime running amok and a mysterious, unnatural crisis happening in the heart of town. Fortunately, hopeful citizens are banding together with some outside help to keep the town in one piece for the betterment of the future. Let's talk about our first game of this keynote, Crystal Rush. Crystal Rush's story starts with an unknown device that is being transported from SOM Corp headquarters. The device mysteriously goes haywire, causing a global catastrophe. Now, the citizens and the Global Crisis Organization are working together to clean up these crystals that are appearing all around the world. As a game, the objective of Crystal Rush is very simple. Destroy your competition and remove their Nexus crystal that provides them with their ability to respawn. Players gather crystals to purchase items to help them defend their own nexus or attack an enemy's. You will spawn with leather armor, a wooden sword, and a wooden pickaxe that you'll be able to upgrade throughout the course of the game. During the course of the game, you'll find yourself bumping into 3 different types of crystal shards: weak shards, strong shards, and nexus shards. Weak shards can be collected via your weak resource node, which is found in every single team's base. These weak shards will allow you to purchase blocks and lower tier upgrades to get you across to the middle. Surprise to no one, you can gather strong shards by mining strong nodes. Strong resource nodes are always positioned at the very middle of Crystal Rush maps, and there's a few more scattered on the outskirts of the mid. These better shards can be used to purchase cool upgrades as well as custom items which can be used to either defend or attack. I highly recommend using them to upgrade your pickaxe, which allows you to gather more shards quicker. Another important thing to note is that on death, the player will lose all of the shards in their inventory. So if you manage to get your hands on some strong shards, make sure to stash them. Now moving on to our final shard, the Nexus shard. You're not going to believe this, but you get Nexus shards from mining the Nexus crystal. As I mentioned earlier, the Nexus crystal is what allows every other team on the map to respawn. So these are ultra rare and can only be used to purchase the most advanced, high-tech items, such as winged totems that can shoot you miles in the air to diamond armor that can protect you to almost an invincible standard. On the topic of health bars, you'll notice that the Nexus crystals that allow teams to respawn have health bars, which means if you're attacked, you have another shot of staying in the game. But when it does hit 0, you're unable to respawn anymore. These shards that you have collected can be used to buy many custom items, such as your standard sword and armor upgrades, which will slowly progress through the tiers: stone, iron, diamond, so on and so on. Your pickaxe upgrades that will progress with levels of fortune so you can gather resources quicker, and then onto the custom items. In Crystal Rush, we have a set of custom items that we are calling orbs. Orbs are able to do a plethora of abilities, such as throw explosive projectiles, help you bridge across the map, launch you into the air, and also grapple you halfway across the map. Other cool custom items we have is our totem system. At the moment in Crystal Rush, there are 4 main types of totems, such as the defense totem, the healing totem, the winged totem, and the cloud totem. The cloud totem is used to save you from a big fall. The healing totem, pretty self-explanatory. The defense totem, also pretty self-explanatory, gives your teams an extra level of resistance. And the wing totem, my personal favorite, launches your whole team into the air with an elytra and allows them to traverse the map easily. It's important to keep in mind that these totems are fragile and enemies can destroy them with pickaxes as well as projectiles, so it's important to keep them in a safe place. Now onto some other neat tips and tricks for Crystal Rush. 1. We have some consumable items like golden apples that will be lost on death, so only buy them if you plan on staying alive. 2. We have some degradable items like armor and swords that will regress to the previous tier upon death. And 3. We also have some permanent items that are kept no matter what, like pickaxes, because gathering resources is definitely the most important part of the game. All these things are really important to have in the back of your mind when you're buying upgrades from our shops in Crystal Rush. Now, onto our final feature of Crystal Rush, sudden death. If a game is going on for too long and teams are finding themselves in a stalemate position, the game timer will tick down until it reaches critical mass, where sudden death will begin. Sudden death forces everybody into the middle of the map using a world border and also removes all of their Nexus crystals, so no respawning, and it is a bloodbath fight to the death for first place. If you want to post some feedback about the games or have a suggestion, please make sure to go to our forums, forums.tubnet.gg, because that is where we are most actively responding to community messages. That's all from me right now in regards to Crystal Rush. We're really excited to see what wacky strategies you guys come up with. Let's move on to TubNet's second game for launch, Light Strike. Light Strike's story starts with the New Block detectives finding unauthorized EMP devices being planted throughout the city. Light Strike is a 4v4 team search and destroy game mode, where players are able to earn credits and use those credits to better themselves in the rounds to come. There are two teams, the Placers and the Breakers. The Placers' job is to place the EMP device, also known as the Star, and surprise to no one, the Breakers' job is to break it. The Breakers are also able to win rounds by completely eliminating the Placers, and the same goes for the other way around. Light Strike is a round-based game, which means all that action I mentioned earlier happens multiple times in one sitting. The aim of the game is for one team to reach 4 rounds won. You'll be able to see how many rounds you have won on the scoreboard on the right of the screen. If a stalemate is reached, the game will enter overtime, where 3 more rounds will be added to the clock, and the game can end in either a loss, a draw, or a win. The final phase is the swap phase, where at the half of the game, the two teams swap and battle it out from the opposite sides of the map. Speaking of maps, let's talk about the first maps that we're putting into the Light Strike map pool for launch. The first map, Portside, is based in an old dockyard where there'll be forklifts to navigate around and 2 sites for the potential star device to be planted. Portside also contains a very open middle, so bows have a massive advantage on this map because of the long-range shots that are able to be hit. The A side on Portside is very closed off and narrow, which allows for more close combat, and the B side is more open, which allows for more long-range combat. The second map that we're putting into the map pool for launch is Zero. Zero is a laboratory that's built into the side of a mountain and has all kinds of experimental technology inside of it, such as boost pads and hover pads that the players will be running into during the game. And there's a lot of secret passageways to traverse the map in stealth. That concludes the first 2 maps we're going to have for launch. On to team communications. Team communications are vital in every competitive game, and that isn't different for Light Strike. We have worked to make communications with the team easy and intuitive, even if you're not playing with your friends, through the use of what we're calling the radio system. The radio is a device that is in the player's hotbar at all times, which allows them to ping different parts of the map, depending whether they right-click, left-click, shift right-click, or shift left-click will send different messages to the team. It also depends on where they're looking as well. While we're talking about information and communication, let's talk about our heads-up display. In Lightstrike, we have two main bits of heads-up display. The first being the scoreboard on the right that contains crucial information like rounds, the amount of credits you have and your current objective, and the second being the boss bar at the top of the screen, which can display to you how many players are left alive and also the round numbers as a second option. Next up, we're going to talk about the items that you're able to buy during the shop round I mentioned earlier. For our offensive items, we've broken them down into three main categories: swords, bows, and crossbows. For swords, we have two custom swords called the Pufferfish Sword and the Slime Sword. The Slime Sword deals extra knockback and the Pufferfish Sword deals poison damage to the enemies. Some of our more generic items in the sword category is an Iron Axe and a Sharpness 1 Iron Sword. For the more generic gamers, we understand you. Stay generic, generic kings. Some of our generic items are a standard Iron Axe and a Sharpness 1 Iron Sword, for the people that don't want to play with the fancy toys. In the crossbows category, we have two. Very simple, we have a quick charge and we have a multi-shot. Also, in regard to bows and crossbows, in the shop there's options to buy different types of arrows such as healing arrows, spectral arrows, and just to stock up on normal arrows as well. In the shop you'll also find a plethora of potions available for you to purchase that are actually instant activate when you use them, so you don't need to sit around drinking them, as well as golden apples to heal you during a fight. For the Breakers team, there is also an extra available pickaxe to purchase which allows you to remove the spike faster. Don't be a loser, buy a diffuser. That's about all we have to share right now for the insides and outs on what you'll be able to experience within the next hour when TubNet releases. Everything we have just spoke about is available for you guys to play when TubNet releases within the next hour. We're super excited to share all of this with you, and now we're going to move on to some special announcements in our next segment. Hello and welcome to the second segment of today's keynote. In this segment, we're going to be talking about all of our future content and up and coming plans and everything you guys have to look forward to. I'm very proud to announce that we are starting to officially run TubNet Tuesdays. That's right, TubNet Tuesdays is starting this December, where we will be hosting weekly tournaments, you guessed it, on a Tuesday. The first one will be kicking off on the 6th of December, so be there. Now that's all very exciting, but I wanted to talk a little bit about why we came to this decision. So looking back over the last couple of years, tournaments like Minecraft Monday, MC Saturday, and Minecraft Championships have all been around. We took what we thought were the best parts of all these different series of events, mixed them together in order to create what we hope is an unforgettable series of tournaments, while trying to aim for the level of polish and quality of events like MCC. Because this is our first time doing something on this scale, this regularly, we wanted to start by doing 3 events on the lead up to the holidays. But don't worry, they're not going to go anywhere and we'll return next year. We just want to start off slow and get our bearings. We have so many ideas at the minute and so many concepts, which we'll be sharing very soon in trailers and teaser videos. Feel free to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, where we post regular developer updates, trailers, and more. Now let's move on to talk about the future of the TubNet games themselves. The Craftmasters Theatre is our playground to put all of our projects on, to get community feedback and see how they work in a larger scale environment on our server. We wanted to integrate the Showdown event we've been running recently into TubNet, so this is exactly the perfect place for us to do that. We have taken tons of feedback from all the creators you've seen streaming the Showdown event, and we have applied that feedback, and now it is going to be in TubNet for you to play. We also want to announce, to conclude our 3 TubNet Tuesday events, we will be running another Showdown, or rather a Snowdown, if you will, for you guys to enjoy before the holidays. Hat. Hello and welcome to the third segment of the keynote. We wanted to take this segment to talk about the rewards that you guys will be able to gain for playing TubNet. We wanted to give back to the community because honestly, we owe you guys so much for allowing us to do what we do. So we've come up with a massive list of prizes and different kind of rewards that we're going to be giving to the most active members of the community. This first thing on our list is by far the thing I find the most exciting. What we have done is we have made exclusive cosmetics that will only be obtainable for these select group of people that manage to do this. For the first 100 people that join the server, we have made an exclusive first 100 hat that only you will have. We have also made an exclusive 1000 user hat, which is available for the first 1000 players of TubNet ever. We also have another exclusive hat for our first 5000 users to join TubNet as well. I know that sounds less exclusive, but just remember, these will never be available again. Next, I want to talk about levels and XP rewards. Every single player on TubNet will receive a free cosmetic every time they increase their level by 10. Another cool XP perk we're going to be having on our launch weekend is a double XP weekend, which means absolutely every single bit of XP you would earn on TubNet will be worth twice as much for the 48-hour period of our launch. Also, every day for your first win of the day, you will get increasing XP, and this is for every game mode on the network. For those of you that don't know, TubNet has a premium currency called qubits, which would normally cost you real-life money to obtain, but we are giving you the opportunity to win loads for free. During the week of launch, we are giving the top 10 players of every single leaderboard in TubNet free qubits. For the top 10 players on every leaderboard on TubNet, we are giving away 500 qubits each. This competition will be closed at Monday, 12 p.m. PST. Also, for you absolute rock stars that managed to reach number 1 on our leaderboards, we want to give away custom TubNet PCs. But to be eligible to win these, make sure you sign up for our forums at forums.tubnet.gg. In addition, for the top 10 players on the network level leaderboard, by December 5th, one day before the first TubNet Tuesday, we are going to be giving out Star Rank for free. That's everything I have for you for the rewards segment of the keynote. Now we're going to be moving on to segment 4 for a very special announcement. I promise it's exciting. Hello, and welcome to the fourth and final segment of today's keynote. They say, save the best till last, and I think we've done that. This is something I'm very excited to announce, and I hope you find it as cool as I do. That's right, TubNet Esports is here. We are planning on doing a series of competitive tournaments with prize pools. We plan on doing invitational ones and open ones, which anyone can partake in. The winners of the open tournaments will then be invited to play in our TubNet Invitationals, which will be live broadcasted on this channel right here. And my last thing for you guys today is that in the summer of 2023, we will be launching the TubNet Competitive Series. We've just about run out of time for today because TubNet is about to launch. So thank you guys so much for your continued support, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna take this final moment now to plug our store, store.tubnet.gg. Check it out. All of the proceeds help us do amazing things. So without further ado, let's get into the launch countdown.